No one has ever told you this, but the one exercise everyone swears by for heart health, walking, might not be the miracle cure you think it is. For many of you over 65, it might even be counterproductive, perhaps even dangerous. Welcome, my friends. Professor Vitalis here with your daily dose of wisdom and wellness, where science and experience walk hand in hand. Today, we are going to unravel a common myth and replace it with powerful, actionable truth. If you have ever felt that walking is a chore, if you've experienced joint pain, fatigue, or a sense of instability that makes a simple walk feel like a monumental task, then this conversation is one of the most important you will have this year. We will explore 5 gentle, expert-backed alternatives that you can do from the comfort of your own home to strengthen your heart, supercharge your circulation, and reclaim your energy. It is absolutely crucial that you stay with me until the very end, because the 5th alternative is often overlooked, and the final thoughts I will share will tie everything together, revealing how a simple shift in your daily rhythm can become a profound act of self-care that changes how you feel, starting tomorrow. Let's begin by addressing the problem head-on. Many cardiothoracic surgeons are now raising a flag of caution. They are observing that for a significant portion of the population, especially those in their golden years, recommending just go for a walk is incomplete and sometimes misguided advice. If you are over 65, and particularly if you live with the chronic whispers of joint pain, the heavy cloak of fatigue that settles over you, or mobility that isn't what it once was, hearing this might feel like a revelation. Today, we dismantle the idea that walking is the only path to a healthy heart. We will explore 5 expert-confirmed alternatives. These are not grueling workouts. They are simple, safe, and profoundly effective movements designed to improve your circulation, fortify your cardiovascular system, and infuse your days with a renewed sense of energy. And the best part? You can do all of this without ever stepping outside your front door. If you are one of the millions who suffer from the tangible signs of poor circulation, that persistent numbness in your feet, the frustrating swelling in your legs, or simply that lethargic, heavy feeling that comes from sitting too long, please know you are far from alone. So many feel trapped in a paradox. You're told to move more, but movement itself causes pain. It's a frustrating cycle, but I am here to tell you that this is not a life sentence. The 5 alternatives we are about to discuss might just be precisely what your heart has been asking for. So, if you are committed to protecting your heart, sharpening your mind, and preserving your mobility and independence well into your 80s and beyond, stay with me. The knowledge you gain in the next few minutes has the power to literally transform how you feel in your own body. Let's begin. Alternative number 1, seated ankle pumps. This is, without a doubt, one of the most simple, accessible, and profoundly underrated exercises for the health of your heart and your entire circulatory system. This is especially true if you find walking to be a challenge. It sounds almost too simple, perhaps even trivial, but do not be fooled. This gentle rocking motion of your feet masterfully mimics the natural pumping action of walking, but it does so without placing any stress or load on your knees, your hips, or your lower back. Here's how it works on a deeper level. When you perform this movement, you engage your calf muscles, specifically the gastrocnemius and soleus muscles. Many cardiologists refer to this muscle group as the second heart. Why such a powerful title? Because every single time your calf muscles contract, they squeeze the deep veins in your legs, powerfully propelling blood upwards against gravity back towards your heart. This mechanical action is absolutely vital for healthy circulation. It prevents blood from pooling and stagnating in your lower extremities, which is a primary culprit behind swollen ankles, persistently cold feet, and even the formation of dangerous blood clots, or deep vein thrombosis, a significant risk for older adults. Without this muscular pump actively working, your heart is forced to work substantially harder to pull that blood back up from your feet, especially when you've been sitting for a long period. What makes these seated ankle pumps so brilliantly effective is their sheer convenience. You can integrate them seamlessly into your day. You can do them while you're reading a book, watching television, enjoying a meal, or even waiting for an appointment at the doctor's office. The instructions couldn't be simpler. Sit up straight in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Now, slowly lift your heels off the ground, keeping the balls of your feet planted. Feel that gentle contraction in your calves. Hold it for just a moment. Then, slowly lower your heels back down. Next, reverse the motion. Keep your heels on the floor and lift your toes and the front of your feet towards your shins. That's it. This simple two-part movement is all it takes to activate your second heart and get your circulation moving. Now, I want to touch on a crucial psychological component. Many older individuals feel a sense of helplessness when they are simply told to move more, particularly if they are living with pain or instability. It can feel like an impossible demand. But the ankle pump shatters this mental barrier. It demonstrates that you can start right now in this very moment with no special equipment, no trip to a gym, and you don't even need to put on shoes. This one tiny achievable step can be the spark that reignites your confidence, your sense of autonomy, and the trust you have in your own body's ability to heal and support you. I once spoke with a gentleman named Roman who was 78. He lived alone and found that he couldn't walk more than a few steps without feeling dizzy and overwhelmed. His doctor insisted he walk more, but he physically felt he couldn't. Then, a physical therapist showed him the seated ankle pump. Roman began doing 20 repetitions every hour while watching his favorite old films. Within 2 weeks, the swelling in his legs had subsided. He felt a noticeable return of his energy. And he told me, "For the first time in years, I feel like I'm an active participant in my own recovery." The lesson here is profound. It's not always about how much you move, but about how regularly you stimulate your blood flow. Seated ankle pumps do exactly that, gently, safely, and effectively, right from your favorite chair. Alternative number 2, wall push-ups. When most people hear the word push-up, they envision a strenuous floor-based exercise meant for building bulging muscles at the gym. But what many people don't realize is that a modified version, the wall push-up, when performed correctly and consistently, has a tremendous positive impact on your heart, your circulation, and your overall vascular health. And crucially, you don't need to get down on the floor, you don't need any equipment, and you certainly don't need to work up a heavy sweat to reap the benefits. Let's look at the mechanics. When you perform a wall push-up, you are engaging far more than just your chest and arm muscles. To maintain a stable, straight line from your head to your heels, you must activate your core muscles, your abdominals, and lower back. These core muscles are the unsung heroes of good posture and circulation. Furthermore, you're using the large muscles of your upper back and shoulders. This comprehensive upper body engagement is surprisingly important for promoting blood flow, especially in the chest and thoracic region, an area where many older adults experience stiffness and tightness, which can impede circulation. Each controlled, gentle push helps your heart pump blood more efficiently and simultaneously strengthens your respiratory muscles, which is critically important as we age for maintaining lung capacity and oxygen intake. And here's a key advantage. Unlike walking, which can place repetitive stress on the knees, hips, and lower back, the wall push-up is an exercise where you are in complete control of the resistance. The intensity is determined by how far your feet are from the wall. You can start very close for a gentle movement and gradually step back as you get stronger. Even when performed slowly and deliberately, you will feel your body doing real, meaningful work. The method is simple. Stand about an arm's length away from a solid, stable wall. Place your palms flat against the wall, roughly at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Keeping your body in a straight line, slowly bend your elbows and lean forward until your chest gets close to the wall. Then, gently press back to the starting position. That's 1 repetition. Performing just 10 of these controlled movements can invigorate your entire upper body and give your circulation a significant boost. Now, let's explore the emotional layer, which is just as important. Over a lifetime, many of us accumulate a kind of emotional armor in our chest and shoulders. We carry the weight of our worries, our regrets, our unspoken griefs. It feels like a physical heaviness, a tightness around the heart. Gentle rhythmic exercises like the wall push-up can work on this level too. They don't just work the body, they can help release some of this pent-up emotional and physical tension. After just a few repetitions, you might notice your breathing becomes deeper and more relaxed. Your posture may naturally straighten, your mood may lift. This is not a coincidence. This is your nervous system responding to safe, supportive movement with a wave of relief. I know a wonderful woman named Margarita, 82 years old. She began doing wall push-ups after her doctor advised her to find a way to strengthen her upper body. At first, she was very hesitant, afraid she might fall or pull a muscle. But she tried, starting with just 5 push-ups each morning in her kitchen. The phrase she used has stuck with me ever since. She said, "I thought my body was too old for this, but I realize now it just needed permission to be strong again." The truth is, building and maintaining strength after 70 doesn't have to mean lifting heavy weights or walking for miles. Sometimes all it takes is leaning against a wall and showing your body that it can still support you. And once you begin to feel that strength again, however small, it changes how you carry yourself through the rest of your day. If this second alternative resonates with you, do let me know by simply writing number 2 in the comments below. It helps me understand what's most helpful for you. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe and press the notification bell so you won't miss our future sessions. Your support fuels our ability to continue creating this useful and inspiring content for our community. Alternative number 3, seated leg lifts. If you have ever struggled with poor circulation in your legs, characterized by swelling in your ankles, or feet that feel stubbornly cold no matter how many pairs of socks you wear, the seated leg lift may just become the simple daily habit that changes everything. There's no need to leave your house and no need for any special equipment. All that is required is a sturdy chair and 5 minutes of your time. The benefits, however, extend far beyond what you might imagine. Here's why it's so powerful. Seated leg lifts directly target and activate some of the largest muscle groups in your entire body: your quadriceps, the front of your thighs, your hamstrings, and even your glutes. When these large muscles are put to work, something incredible begins to happen within your circulatory system. Blood, which can become stagnant in the lower body, is powerfully encouraged to circulate more freely, especially on its return journey from your legs back up to your heart. This is incredibly important because, for many older adults, the circulatory system struggles to work against the constant pull of gravity. This is what leads to that feeling of heaviness, fatigue, and visible swelling in the legs after a period of sitting. But here's a simple biomechanical truth. When you're sitting on a chair and you lift your leg even just a few inches off the floor, you immediately engage your massive quadriceps muscle. This contraction acts like a powerful pump on your femoral artery and vein, giving a significant boost to your entire vascular system. As you perform this movement, alternating between your left and right leg, you will likely notice a tangible effect. Your feet may begin to feel warmer as fresh, oxygenated blood reaches them. Your knees, supported by stronger surrounding muscles, may feel more stable, and your heart can begin to work more calmly because it is getting a helping hand. It doesn't have to strain as hard to manage blood flow. Over time, practicing this simple movement can contribute to a lower resting heart rate and an increase in your overall physical endurance. There is also a hidden psychological effect at play here that is immensely powerful. The simple act of lifting your own leg gives your brain a direct and undeniable signal. I am still in control of my body. For anyone, but especially for older individuals who may be recovering from an illness or experiencing a decline in mobility, this is a profoundly empowering message. Anxiety often stems from a feeling of helplessness, but a simple, repetitive movement, performed calmly and regularly, provides rhythm, purpose, and a tangible sense of control. It methodically rebuilds your self-confidence, one lift at a time. Permit me to share the story of Georgie, a 79-year-old man living alone. After his wife passed away 5 years prior, he had fallen into a pattern of profound inactivity, barely moving throughout the day except to get food. One day, while watching television, he decided to start lifting his legs during every commercial break. At first, he told me, it was just something to do, a way to break the monotony. But after a few weeks, he shared something remarkable. I stopped feeling so stuck. That feeling that I was just waiting for the day to end. It was gone. I started to feel like I was living again. This is the true power of these small movements. They are quiet, unassuming, and often invisible to others. But inside your body, they are sending a clear message to your heart, your blood vessels, your muscles, and even your mind. You are still here. You are still strong. Alternative number 4, isometric hand contractions. Most of us have been taught that heart health is all about big movements, running, swimming, long walks. It's about engaging the large muscles of the legs and back. But what if I told you that one of the most potent tools for protecting your heart, lowering your blood pressure, and strengthening your blood vessels is quite literally right in the palm of your hand? Yes, I'm talking about your grip. The simple, silent act of squeezing your hand can be a powerful form of exercise that trains your heart without you ever having to leave your armchair. Grip strengthening exercises are not flashy. You won't break a sweat, and you likely won't feel like you're doing anything serious. But the science behind this phenomenon is nothing short of phenomenal. When you intentionally and firmly squeeze your hand, either by making a fist or squeezing a small object, you do much more than just tense your fingers. You are creating a temporary controlled restriction of blood flow in the smaller arteries of your hands and forearms. This is called an isometric contraction. When you then release the squeeze, a fascinating vascular response occurs. Blood rushes back into the area, and in response to this change in pressure, the endothelial lining of your blood vessels is stimulated to produce more nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a potent vasodilator, meaning it's a molecule that signals the smooth muscles of your artery walls to relax and widen. This makes them more pliable and flexible. Think of it as physical therapy for your arteries. Regular practice of this squeeze and release action helps to lower your systolic blood pressure. That's the top number, which represents the pressure exerted when your heart pushes blood out into your system. In fact, many cardiologists now formally recommend isometric hand grip exercises as a non-pharmacological strategy for managing hypertension, especially for older adults who may find more intense aerobic activity difficult or risky. This is so important because, after age 70, high blood pressure is one of the most silent and insidious enemies of long-term health. On the outside, you might feel perfectly fine. But on the inside, your heart is working overtime, constantly pushing against rigid, unyielding vessels. This chronic strain leads to fatigue, dizziness, shortness of breath, and eventually, real structural damage to the heart itself. But just a few minutes a day of hand grip training can give your heart a chance to work more efficiently and a little less frantically. Moreover, there is a well-established and direct correlation between grip strength and longevity. Numerous large-scale studies have shown that individuals with stronger grip strength tend to live longer, healthier, and more independent lives. Why? Because grip strength is not just about your hands. It serves as a reliable biomarker or a proxy for your overall neurological and muscular health. When grip strength declines, it's often a sign that the entire system is weakening. Balance, coordination, and confidence suffer. But when you actively train it, even with something as simple as a tennis ball or a soft stress ball, you are sending a powerful signal up your arm, through your spinal cord, and to your brain. I am still strong. I am still in control. I once met Elena, an 80-year-old woman, who always carried a small yellow stress ball. She didn't use it for stress, she explained, but to strengthen her heart. 3 squeezes with each hand every time I sit down, she told me, and 3 more every time I stand up. This tiny routine had become her personal ritual. What surprised her most was how much more energy she felt throughout the day, not just in her hands, but in her entire body. She said, "My heart used to feel like it was fluttering or racing even when I was resting. Now it feels like it's working with me, not against me." Alternative number 5, the seated march. You do not need to run marathons to keep your heart young and your blood flow strong. Sometimes, all you need to do is march in place while sitting in your chair. Yes, you heard that correctly. While our third alternative, the seated leg lift, focuses on building strength and control by holding the position, this fifth alternative, the seated march, focuses on rhythm and endurance. It may look simple, but it is one of the most beneficial and sustainable movements for anyone over 70 looking to actively improve circulation and protect their heart from the consequences of a sedentary lifestyle. When we sit for extended periods, blood naturally begins to pool in our legs due to gravity. This forces the heart into a state of constant, low-grade overdrive to pump that blood back up to the chest. Over time, this sustained strain can increase the risk of clots, swelling, and elevated blood pressure. The seated march acts as a continuous, gentle pump for your entire lower body. By creating a steady, rhythmic, alternating movement, you don't just give your circulation a single push, you create a consistent flow. This rhythmic contraction of the leg muscles stimulates circulation, helps to lower venous pressure, and improves the delivery of precious oxygen to the very tissues and muscles that need it most. The primary beauty of this exercise lies in its dynamic and rhythmic nature. It's less about a peak contraction and more about continuous motion. Here's how you do it. Sit upright in your chair, perhaps a little forward from the backrest, to engage your core. Keep your back straight. Now, gently lift one knee towards your chest as if you were marching in place. As you begin to lower that foot back to the floor, start lifting the opposite knee. The goal is to find a smooth, comfortable, and continuous rhythm. You are not trying to lift your knee to your chin. A few inches of lift is all it takes. You can do this for 1 to 5 minutes at a time, perhaps while listening to a favorite song or during a television commercial break. No equipment, no strain, just you and your muscles reawakening to the power of rhythm. What's happening beneath the surface is that you're creating a gentle cardiovascular demand. It safely elevates your heart rate just enough to mimic the benefits of a slow, steady walk, but with absolutely zero impact on your joints. And emotionally, there is a profound benefit to rhythm. Rhythmic, predictable movements are inherently soothing to the human nervous system. They can reduce feelings of anxiety and create a meditative state of focus. It connects your mind and body in a simple, achievable task that builds a quiet sense of accomplishment. It's not about how fast you march or how high you lift your knees. It's about the wonderful continuity of the motion, breath by breath, lift by lift. When you can move your own legs with this kind of easy rhythm, you feel capable and independent. This confidence permeates everything else. It affects how you stand, how you walk, and how you interact with the world. I recall a conversation with a gentleman named Gennady, 78, who had started practicing seated marching after a minor stroke left him feeling tentative and weak. At first, he admitted, it felt silly. What good can this possibly do, he thought. But after a couple of weeks, he noticed he could walk to his mailbox with less fatigue. He felt more stable climbing the single step into his home. But the most important change, he said, was internal. I stopped feeling useless, he told me. I was doing something again. I was taking part in my own life. And that is the true gift of these simple movements. They aren't about chasing youth or conforming to some external ideal of fitness. They are about dignity. They are about reclaiming the ability to move on your own terms, in your own rhythm, without fear. And now, for a few final thoughts. If there is one thing I have learned in my years of studying the human body and spirit, it is this. True, meaningful change does not require perfect health, expensive equipment, or vast amounts of free time. It requires only a small measure of curiosity, a flicker of desire, and the steadfast belief that your body is still important. Because it is. In fact, right now, it is more important than ever. In our fast-paced world, it can often feel as though older individuals are being told they are no longer needed. The world rushes by, the noise gets louder, and at a certain point, it is easy to start to shrink, to feel invisible. But the profound truth is that inside every single person, regardless of age, regardless of aching knees or a slower step, there lives a spark of life force, of resilience, of wisdom. That spark is simply waiting for you to turn your attention back toward it. That is what these 5 simple practices truly represent. They are not merely exercises, they are messages. They are messages you send to yourself that say, I am still here, I am still important, and I still have the power to care for my own heart. Every time you pump your ankles, press against a wall, lift your leg, or squeeze your fist, you are reminding your body and your soul, I am not giving up. I am not finished. I am choosing to be on my own side even in this small way. And these small things, they add up. They create momentum. They bring peace. I know that life at this stage is not always simple. Perhaps you have lost someone dear to you. Perhaps your body does not feel like the one you once knew. And perhaps, some days, you are just tired of it all. That is normal. That is human. But in those very moments, I want you to remember what we've spoken about today. I want you to remember that there are still things accessible to you right now. There is still a choice that can help your blood flow, calm your heart, and bring a little more ease into your being. You are never too old to do something good for your heart. You are never too weak to try something simple, gentle, and healing. Even if you cannot walk as you once did, even if your strength has waned, there is still a path forward. There is still hope. There is still a way to support the beautiful, miraculous body that has carried you through all these years. So here is what I will ask of you. Choose just one of these 5 exercises and try it today. Not all 5, just one. Perhaps it's the ankle pumps, perhaps it's the seated march. But do it. Do it for your heart, do it for yourself, because you are still here and you still matter. Allow yourself to feel what it brings, not just in your chest, but in your mood, in your thoughts, in the simple sensation that you are, once again, fully and wonderfully alive. Healing does not always happen in grand, dramatic leaps. Sometimes it happens quietly, on a kitchen chair, as you gently lift your leg and feel the warmth return to your feet. Sometimes it happens in the pause between breaths, when you suddenly realize, with a quiet sense of pride, I am still here. Knowledge only works when you apply it. I'm Professor Vitalis. Stay curious, stay healthy, and never stop learning.